Aquí estamos. Domingo.
Are you ready? I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad, I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just, I hate that. I'm scared.
It would be awesome to, being a great war, maybe with a Mexican.
Let's go. Way
I have to put the joke.
No. Hey,
thank you.
perfect for playing, man. I appreciate
Good
you.
timing, man.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Oye, buenos días. Check this out.
No dia, let's go.
Got a bed, bitch, go.
Y aquí estamos, como lo sentimos todos los domingos.
Gotta wake up, bitch, get up. Get up, get up.
Thank you for tuning in this morning. If you want to go ahead and like this podcast, if you're listening to us archived or anywhere you listen to our social medias, welcome to Sunday Recap, Long Live Boxing EnVivo podcast. Como siempre, Manny, siempre en vivo, Marrero.
Shout out Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
Oye, we are going to come down, break it down like it is, like we always say, like it should be, like you guys fans deserve it as Pan Perspective. We got great stuff going on. Very interesting weekend. And you know what? Like our brothers always say, don't burn the lead. Just go right straight to it, because we got to really talk about that. A potential right candidate for fight of the year last night. DAZN kicked it up. Woo!
Man, what a great night of boxing, man. Shout out to DAZN and my subscription. I didn't cancel it yet. I did not. Shout out to those.
Already?
Yeah, come on, brother. In the room with Christine. Hello. Hey, happy Sunday, guys. Happy Sunday to you. The hardest working man in the boxing game, Clarence McLean. No Doubt Podcast. Let's go. Boxing in the house, HLD. We are ready to discuss boxing. Boxing's good sometimes. It was good last night.
Yeah, it was good. We can't complain. I mean, we had action all day long. Some of you were able to see early fights.
Absolutely. Saludos.
And we can't part ways with what's happening tonight too as well. So great weekend, Labor Day weekend.
We in the house, man. Shout out to those that are working to take and celebrate today, right, Hopper? We love those guys.
Baby.
Are you taking it off, Hopper?
¿Cómo
está la cruda?
Oh man.
Always, every day, man. It feels like every Sunday it's the same thing. Oh, ando bien crudo.
Hey, by the way, Sean, you know what the menu is for today? I did it. I'm gonna do it, and it's called your favorite Puerto Rican dish.
Sancocho.
EnVivo!
You're gonna have that tonight. I'm gonna head over there and watch the Andy Reese fight.
I mean, if you want to come over, Hopper, you're more welcome to. I mean, I'm gonna drive, but I'm here.
That'll work. Shout out JC, Puerto Rican rum. Saludos.
Sí, señor.
Saludos.
What's up? Salute. I don't fight Mexican. Wow,
that's funny. That's actually a topic we're gonna discuss here shortly. So
let's go ahead and kick it off.
Let's go to that main
teaser,
event, guys. I mean, I'm serious. I was just glued to my TV, and I still had like my adrenaline pumping after the fight. But Sean, lead us to what we're talking about.
Yeah, definitely. So it was a fight. It's been 16 months for Estrada. That's a long time. He's longer in the tooth.
After the loss of Chocolatito.
I mean, he won, but
wow, a little bitter.
Wow, coming in hot, Manny.
Coming in hot. But yeah, he Argi Cortez, which I was very impressed with his, man. He brought his A game. He was just an opponent. He came there to fight. Great distance, great control. Good. That right he had was working all night for the most
Yes.
part. Really until the adjustments were made, like around the 5th round, I felt like he was pretty much in control. So I thought he had a great game plan, which Nacho Berenstein knew, and he was a replacement. Can you imagine that? So salute and shout out to him for what a great fight. Hopper, what did you think of the fight though? Just kind of take away and what's your thoughts, brother?
Well, I remember this is why I guess the fights happen, because I remember when his first fight was announced, Gallo's fight was announced, we were kind of rolled our eyes. We're like, who? And then the replacement came in. We're like, oh, okay, another stay busy tune-up fight. That's fine. But no, look at that. Behold, lo and behold, we had a treat last night. And we'll touch on it a little more about what Canelo said about not fighting Mexicans. But hey, that's what happens when you get those Mexicanos in the center of the ring. Se dan a la madre los dos. Ni uno quiere dar paso para atrás. They come at it, man. Shout out to Argi Cortez. He had heart, determination. He wanted to win. He wasn't just there for a paycheck. Like you mentioned, that right hand just kept catching Gallo. I don't know if it's maybe Gallo's like that football team that plays down to their competition. I think that's what the commentators were saying. I think that's a little unfair to Argi. Argi Cortez was in there prepared. He was sharp. And, training with Nacho Beristain, you're going to be sharp. You're going to have a good game plan. And Argi went in there and did his thing, man. The only thing I will say is that for all the heart, grit, and determination that he had, it just felt like maybe he was just slightly below Gallo's level. Gallo was a little more experienced, seasoned, been there, done that.
No, you're right, and you could tell like the levels started showing themselves toward the end in the championship.
Yeah,
and he got hurt to the body, and obviously that kind of changed the whole.
Gallo's body work was tremendous, was lethal,
tremendous, and then the subtle things that are so great about Gallo. And granted, he wasn't on peak as normal, but I think you said it so well, brother. Like part of that is Argi Cortez. He created those issues a lot, is his distance and his game plan and the approach he had with landing the right and staying consistently with it. And that's the thing about it. He had a hell of a chin too. Like even when he get caught, he kept coming forward. He wasn't scared to exchange. You could tell that he respected El Gallo Estrada, but he didn't fear him. That makes a huge difference in the fight, brother.
Well put. He had a healthy respect for him. Like he respected him, but in no way was he afraid, or in no way was he intimidated. You could just tell right off the bat the bombs he was throwing from the very first round. Just there was no feel out round, and those third, fourth, fifth rounds were I think a beauty for the boxing fans.
Actually, it definitely was. I got to get a shout out to She Funky saying this, and I do agree. No troll zone, no troll zone. Not on our.
Manny, I think he's talking to you. No troll zone.
No troll zone. No, not a troll zone. It was a great Mexican battle, and that's why we should discard whether we're a countryman or anything like that when it comes to be the best of that country. I'll save it for later. But sorry, Sean.
No, not at all. And want to get to this comment real quick from our brother G Funky. So Estrada looked like 5'4" pile of
very harsh, kind of harsh.
Well, I mean, you got to understand why. Is it because of the opponent, and no one really expected that? Was it because it was like considered a 205, a last minute individual who comes in and and like prove that he has the courage, the youth, the strength, and the dedication, and not to mention the leadership when it comes to the training part of it. Not true. I didn't think this is like a horse. This is like a horse racing that is very active, never been into that high level, but all of a sudden he's got the best jockey in the world, and all of a sudden look what the horse did.
Absolutely,
So great things. I honestly have to say, if I did see Cortez fighting in the past couple times, maybe I just didn't really recall that. But here's the thing, though. Yes, at the beginning, I think Cortez did his homework and did what he had to do to at least time the jab. Anytime that Gallo would come in with a right straight right hand, he would manage to come with an uppercut. So he timed it very fast in his combinations. He's got a great chin, man. From the beginning, I mean, he popped them. I think Gallo popped them with everything he had, and he just stood there and just whether to laugh, and then he countered back again. And so at that point, I remember I talked to brothers. I wrote, I was like, man, esto está cabrón. I mean, estos son dos mexicanos, uno que está hambriento, que está deseoso por llegar a ese nivel, y otro que quiere seguir probando que he is the best of the best when it comes to the 115 pounds. Gringo, you said something yesterday. This is why, unfortunately, a lot of people don't really look at this lower class division. This is where we get the true battles. This is where we get, to see who is actually the best. And last night, to be honest, it was a great performance, bombs away, toe to toe, all right, at certain times, and the experience, the knowledge, everything that Gallo has done, in the entire career, he showed it. The problem is he showed it with someone that basically doesn't have a build-up resume, has a lot of fights, been very active. He's got that great jockey, great trainer, Nacho Wallenstein, but no one really gave it to him. And I want to say, I do, the youth, right? This was a huge test for Gallo to really say, hey, listen, I'm not up in age. I still have a lot left in me. And I just proved it with an extremely hungry, young, talented, with a super good chin, good IQ, good movements, and great speed in the hands. And we did see that yesterday. Great test for Gallo. And I'm excited. I'm excited for that because, at the end of it, we did hear the confirmation that everyone wanted to hear. We'll touch base on that. But this is and stuff, man. 150 pounds, bro. 150 pounds can get even bigger than one we think when we think about the Japanese, which I know is a little bit higher there. But can you imagine how things can shuffle down in the future after the trilogy, whatever happens? Man, I'm telling you.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing, though, man. We got ourselves another player in the 115-pound division. Exactly. Give me some more of Argi Cortez. The thing I loved about him was that he has the same kind of style in terms of the Mexican style. Another old Nacho trained fighter had Juan Manuel Marquez. When Juan Manuel Marquez was hurt, he would just throw like he would, and that's what Argi was doing yesterday. There were times where Gallo rocked him, and you couldn't tell because he was just swinging right back, trying to get that punch back. And I love that. I admire that when you're hurt, and you still have the presence of mind to throw and to engage and to just go all out on your shield. That's courage, man. That's honor. That's
and this is one of those fights that I say that, the underdog, although he did lose, he really didn't lose. He just actually started his career and put himself in the spotlight, just like Isaac Cruz. That's the same way I kind of see, not styles of a fighters, but I can see the way their career are going to start, building
People
up
are notice
for
him.
much bigger fights just
Gallo
because
fans.
his performance last night.
No.
It's a lost win, right, Gringo? What do we always say? It's a lost win.
Yeah, it's a lost win. Like on the record, it's going to be a loss, but it's going to be a win in his.
You're going to win the public. People want to see you now.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. I want to see Pitbull tonight. I want to see
him.
Pitbull tonight because his trajectory. I want to freaking see Cortez again.
I want to see Argi again. I want to see him fight one of these guys at 115.
Can you imagine?
And that's another thing too, kind of touch on real quick as far as I love the atmosphere, the energy, the fact that they were fighting in Mexico.
In Gallo's hometown.
In Gallo's hometown. He hasn't fought there since 2014. The energy was electric. And I feel like just kind of a great segue to kind of touch on this. We saw some of this in the comments. We actually had this person enter in the comments, but I'd love to hear Hopper's thoughts on this and also in the chat.
It's Zurdo. I don't want to fight with Mexicans, so I don't want to fight with Mexicans. And
all right, so that comment I know was kind of getting things fired up, and we weren't able to do a show last week, but we're back now. Hopper, what's your thoughts on that as far as like we saw the direct impact of the opposite of that last night? And, do you agree, disagree? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, Canelo's my boy. Hey, secret's out. He's my boy, but you got to call it like you see it, man. I think this is probably one of those things that he probably shouldn't have said. I think if you do feel that way, maybe keep it to yourself because this is what happened, especially after last night. This is what happens when you put two Mexicans in the center of the ring. You're going to get fireworks. You're going to get action. There's so many great Mexican battles, so many great rivalries. Everybody knows Morales Barrera. So that's the one that automatically stands out. But even further than that, every time you throw two Mexicanos in there, more times than not, it's going to be an action-packed fight because the guys, they throw in bunches, man. And for Canelo to say something like that, I think it's all the criticism he's getting is rightfully deserved because as a champion or the pound-for-pound best, how are you going to just immediately eliminate an entire region of boxers? Like, no, I'm not going to fight these guys, especially when you already fought Chavez Jr. So it really doesn't make much sense, especially to what Canelo was saying. I'm not sure. We read the interview. It's like, I don't think it's being taken out of context. I mean, when you say you're not going to fight Mexicans, you're not going to fight, it's pretty clear on what you're saying. And I kind of disagree with that. It's disheartening to say that. At the time when he first said it against Munguia, right? It was the idea was floating around Munguia. He said it a while back. Right. I thought he was saying it just to protect Munguia, because come on, Canelo against Munguia, we all know how that would have gone. But then when they asked him about Zurdo Ramirez and he said it again, I'm like, oh well, Zurdo's a different story, man. Zurdo can fight. And he's got some size on him and he's got a jaw. So I don't know. I think this is just one of those things. Sometimes you keep it to yourself and don't say it. It does the optics of it, of what everybody's gonna see here. It's not something that you want. Already being criticized left and right. Now you're being criticized for something else. So when you're the top dog, man, you're gonna catch a lot of shit. And then now he's just adding on to the pile.
No, that's very fair, and that's definitely is what he did. And you're right; it was initially said because of Jaime Munguia, and then it was directly asked, pre promotion for the fight, the third fight he has against Triple G, and he was referring to not wanting to fight the winner of, which is an exciting fight, Bivol versus Zurdo, and he doesn't want to fight Zurdo, which is confusing. And I remember I was talking to shout out to G Funky about this, how I thought that at one point Canelo did want to fight him because he asked, remember you interviewed him, he asked Zurdo to join and be his co-main event on the Caleb Smith card, right?
Right. Yeah, wait, I asked him. We did have the privilege one time when Zurdo was fighting Tigre. We got the chance to interview Zurdo Ramirez, and I asked him about that. I asked him how with Canelo, how interested in it, and of course, he wanted it. He jumped at it. He jumped at the opportunity. He wants to fight Canelo, but I think Zurdo's a guy that wants to fight everybody, and not a lot of people want to fight him. He's been after Bivol for years, and finally, it took the mandatory status. It took a forced fight from the organization to force Bivol to fight him. So I think Zurdo's an avoided guy for good reason.
No, definitely. So, and also we want to touch on this before we talk about the confirmed. Now, very excited for that. The confirmed rematch, or the third fight, the trilogy has been confirmed last night.
Canelo sidetracked us.
Yeah, he sidetracked us a little bit, but I want to get your thoughts on, and also in the chat, what do you guys think about the open score? I was feeling the hell out of it, man. Knowing what's going on, is this guy going to get robbed or not? I mean,
what do you think, Manny? What did you think about the open scoring system?
You liked it, brother?
I mean, it's going to take me a while to kind of digest it, but I think didn't they try that a couple of years ago or something like that?
It's every now and then. They do it every now and then.
I don't know if it was HBO that started. I forgot who it was, but I know when they started.
I think it depends on where you're at, bro. Honestly, like what state?
Exactly.
Or
so I think it leaves at least it gives more of opening to terms of like fans to really start trusting the system, which it's going to be still difficult to that. But still, fans are going to speculate. In terms of if they're going to be a robbery or if they're going to judge it, completely wrong. I mean, if you think about it, even in the previous fight, which by the way was a full amazing card yesterday, but the fight against Hector Flores, not the Chinga, if you see one of the scorecards against, it was like, wow, it's a huge difference, right? So, I mean, I don't know. Fans are still going to start looking into like, possible robberies. I'm not liking this, or now we know where it's coming for. This is, you see what I'm saying? So either or, they just need to really go in a way that they can test things. So that way they can be, these judges can be very accurate, and, things are going to happen when it's really close fight. And that's okay. That's not a robbery. A close fight, it's not. But, I was hoping yesterday that the right person would win the fight, and I think Estrada did it. So for that,
ask you, who do you think won the fight then, Manny?
I think honestly Estrada did win the fight.
Yeah,
I honestly think that knockdown,
very competitive, but
did it. I had it 3-3 up to the 7th round, and then I think Gallo, his experience, he started really
settled down,
kind of leading him, and he started being smart. If you look at him, you got me timing my jab, my right hand. And then Gallo would come in, land, whether it's a jab or right hand, and he'll kind of reset, pull back, and then he come back in again. And so moving up around and feet movement, that really gave that edge. In the experience, he actually left a lot. Other than Cortez, really at times try to make something happen, throwing those bombs that you were talking about earlier. And he seemed to be a little bit gassed out. That's the inexperience when it comes to, in comparing Gallo Estrada, against Cortez. But this is why, and I'm going to say this, Because and I know this is part of my ranting later on, but this is why I'm so against some of those, and I won't say name, but you guys will know, not wanting to see who is the best from your country. I don't agree with not fighting, your countryman because this, because that's. I get it if it's your brother, if he's a stablemate, something that like the Klitschko brothers, they said it. I'm not gonna fight my brother. The Charlos, I'm not gonna fight Charlos. Even
Wow,
Spence not gonna fight Charlo. I get it. It's just family, whether you're blood family or brother from another mother. But when you look at and
I would
talking
fight
about
you.
Canelo
Oh,
and talking about not fighting,
I would fight you.
Mexicans. I mean, I remember,
would fight
and I know it criticizes a lot, right? But I remember 1984, right after Hector Macho Camacho fought Freddie Roach. Supposedly was a tune-up fight. He was going to defend his WBC against El Chapo Rosario. Everyone was like, no, this shouldn't happen. Both Puerto Ricans can't fight like that. The fight was made, and it was one of the greatest fights I've seen, split decision. Man, why not? I mean, some of these fights do have rivalry, okay? And they hate each other, and the fights are made. But when the fights are made and there's not a rivalry, that's where things gets intense, because what's in stake may be a title, but what's in stake is who is the best Puerto Rican in the ring right now. And at that time was Hector Macho Camacho. And then, they want to roll again. And then Hector started to say, I'll fight anyone. I'll fight any Puerto Ricans. You see what I'm saying? So take some chances. I don't think that Canelo versus, Zurdo will be something like, yeah, he's got a lot of respect from him. But if there's a possibility to see who is actually the real true Mexican, if, right, Zurdo captures a title and then possibly unifies, do you think that will be a very interesting fight at the 175 to see if Canelo, who is the best Mexican? I get it. But you're going to get some of the fights like you see last night. Two Mexicans going at it. I get the respect. I get behind it. Hey, we're Mexicans. We shouldn't be. But it's a sport, and you want to give to the fans a good show. And I think these two guys will be able to do it. We're going ahead of our heads right now. But if there's a possibility, you can't really cut that down the road, because you got to let it grow. And eventually, what if it happens? Oh, I'm not going to fight anyone. Now he's going to fight Zurdo because he's got all the belts. Oh, why you want to fight him now? I thought you said you didn't. So that's what I'm trying to prevent later on. Don't cut it down by the root, right? Just trim the tree. See how it grows. And later on, if you feel like you're not going to do it, that's fine. But it's going to really look back if Zurdo captures 1, 2, 3 titles at 175. Now you want him? That's not going to look good.
Yeah, so that's good stuff, Manny. Good stuff, Manny. But real quick, Gringo, before we move on, I want to touch base on the open scoring. I loved it personally. I thought it was great because it gives us fans that are watching the chance to see, hey, is the fix in? Are they judging the fight right? Because they announce it after 4, they announce it after 8th. And then obviously they announce it at the end of the fight. But I loved it, man. I'm all for it. That way we can see exactly how the judges are scoring it up until that point. And plus, it lets the fighters know where you stand at this fight. Because a lot of times they think they're winning the fight, but hey, judges have it totally different. So you either need to step on the gas, but it also kind of has negative effects too. Like you can kind of get conservative if you're up by 3-4 points. Like Gallo kind of did that towards the end of the fight. You could see, and there's another thing that was pissing me off about Gallo last night. You could see he was, I don't want to say bored, but there were lulls where he fell asleep and then caught a right hand for his measures. Like you could see his where he totally focused. Like he was Argi Cortez was a minus 3,300 odds. That's how massive a favorite Gallo was.
$50
minus 3,300. That's insane.
And he almost he got those who bet on him. He got it up
3,300 to make $100. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. But he definitely didn't fight like it. I like this comment here. HLD, shout out to you, brother. Open scoring will promote fighters from giving it your all when winning.
It does have a negative effect. That's the only negative effect. I mean, when you're already winning, like I said, you get a little more conservative. But on the opposite end, if you're losing the fight, hey,
now you got
to throw everything at your opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I agree. And it was just a great entertaining night of boxing. And we didn't even touch on the people that a lot of people calling the fight of the year. You know,
It's a
what you
candidate.
mentioned with
I
Flores.
think we had two fights there. Were candidate
Yeah.
fight of the year. I think
Hector Flores,
you know the before the
Hector
Colombian,
Flores,
the
and
Flores,
Sivanathi
not
Yeah.
Shinga, not
Nanshinga.
Shinga, not
Hey, we got it right.
Shinga.
Hector
I mean, it was a really good fight from start to end. You know, got a couple headbutts. You know, bloody on the side of you know, Hector Flores. But you know, these two guys battle, and you've got to really highlight this fight. This is finally South Africa. It's got a world champion, and
Right.
it makes things interesting. You know, for him and moving forward in his career. So I kind of like that. You know, in other countries, it's emerging, and now you got a world champion. So congratulations.
No, definitely. And speaking of making things interesting, we're making interesting that they confirmed the fight. So I was already excited. You know, I had an entertaining card, but dazn had a great interview with Claudia Trejos, and she was interviewing Gallo Estrada, and he confirmed December 3rd of the fight we've been wanting or clamoring for. The trilogy fight is confirmed. What's your thoughts, Hopper? How do you feel about it, brother?
Oh man, I'm excited for it, bro. When did they have it? December 3rd, right? Yeah, December 3rd. Location to be determined just yet, but man, that's what we wanted, guys. Part 3. Here we go. I mean, you got
Trilogies. We
you
have to
you
be.
know who I'm rocking with, man.
Yeah.
Is it even a question who I'm gonna be rolling with?
For those that are listening,
No, I'm excited for it, man. I like Chocolatito. Came off that win over El Rey, you know, just bullied his ass, bullied his little ass.
Really, really.
So it's time for the guy to take revenge for La Raza otra vez for Mexico. But I mean, come on, man. Chocolatito is a Hall of Famer, walking Hall of Famer. El Gallo, one of the pound for pound best. And hey, I'm excited. December 3rd, can't wait, baby.
Yeah, definitely. I'm for those that don't know and listening to the audio version, our brother Hopper was showing his Mexican flag in the background, the beautiful flag in the back, and so he's going team Gallo Estrada. He's ready. All right, so we're going to go ahead and ask him, even though we know the answer anyway. Annie, who are you going for? And you know, not just your heart, but who do you think is going to win, and what are you expecting on December 3rd?
Listen, last night, and I know a lot of people would say, well, I mean, you just pick fighters and you're a hater and you always never comment anything positive. I don't think I say that. I just sometimes I see it like I see it. And I think right now, as I told you guys yesterday, I do have a different perspective than Gallo Estrada. I've always thought that Gallo Estrada. And you know what? I like when they prove me wrong. I'm just here a talker. You know, I'm not a boxer or anything like that. You know, I just see it like I see it, right? But I got to say something. At one point, I did say that Chocolatito was out. Right. And look how he rejuvenated his career. Right. And prove me wrong. Great. As a fan, as a true hardcore fan as I am, boxing, I want to be able to see that. Gallo Estrada, you know, it's just never showed me that, you know, he's a warrior. He's really like, you know, but now he overcame the opposition, you know, all the obstacles he had last night. A fighter that he probably, you know, he knew. Maybe he was too overconfident. But when he'd see it, you see it in round 2. Look at Gallo looking at Cortez like, damn, man, look what I've got myself into. Did I know he was going to step it up a notch? That's what I wanted to see. Step it up with what you have across from you, right? Whether you think it's an underdog, whether you think it's a last minute replacement, whether you couldn't really study this kid that was hungry, had a good chin, has good power, great combination speed, and Nacho Beninstein. Now you're all of a sudden try to tweak your game plan to be able to come out victorious in the fight. And this is this kind of stuff I wanted to see. Am I excited for the fight? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Because you don't get trilogies a lot. You don't. You really don't. When you get them, it's because it's worth it. It's because the fans want it. It's because, you know, there's been a war, because there's been a dispute, right? Canelo and Triple G 1-1. Let's go. Let's get it on. Let's settle. Gallo and Chocolatito 1-1. Let's settle these things. It's going to sell. Going to bring people together. It's going to bring hate, you know. But I tell you what, even though I love me some El Gallo, I love me some Chocolate.
No, definitely. It's going to be a hell of a fight, and can't wait. And for those that are listening on the audio version, we appreciate you. And those that are listening in the chat, please, go ahead and put your comments on. Are you excited for the fight? And we'll be doing a full breakdown preview show soon. But we just want to definitely shout that out because we are so excited. Just taking a quick look.
One thing, Sean, I don't understand why I'm reading a lot, and maybe you guys can comment a little bit about it. I'm reading a lot of comments in social media in where it's been one of the worst performances for Gallo Estrada. Can you guys answer that to me? Was it really the worst performance, and why? Because I didn't see that. Just because
I didn't see that either, bro. I didn't think it was his worst performance. I think people are just expecting because I think the unknown anonymity factor of Argi Cortez thinking, oh, well, Gallo should knock him out, But no, man, it's a fight. Everybody, the other guy has two hands, just like Gallo does. So they have a game plan. He's well trained with Nacho. I don't think Gallo looked bad. I just think that's how good Argi Cortez was. I think people just overlooked him, and then I think kind of Gallo was maybe a little. If he's guilty of anything, it was that, like, just overlooking Argi, not taking him too seriously, because there were times where Argi was catching his ass for andale, sasue, keep your guard up, pay attention, I'm right here. So is it I don't think Gallo looked like shit. I just think it goes to show how good Argi was.
So was it more hate, Sean, for you of those fans who are not a big Gallo Estrada fan? And you see memes like Rooster taking a shit, and if you guys seen some cop fights, sometimes the Rooster taking shit when they start fighting. That means they're either scared or they're ready to go. A lot of people I'll find that meme for you, but he's taking a dump right at the second round, and then he's got he's gotten the attack force. But do you feel like the people are talking in his sprint now because this is more hate towards it, or is it because really was the performance?
Well, I mean, honestly, I haven't seen all those comments. I can only speak towards what my understanding of the situation. And what I understand is he didn't look great, but I think, again, like we touched on before, Argi Cortez is a big part of that. I think anytime, just think about it, just on paper, Gallo Estrada, legend, fighting a replacement. Expectations.
Right. That's what I said. Yeah, that's what.
It's expectation.
So it's based on the expectation because the legend's fighting
a
replacement, and that replacement happens to be someone that did his homework.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
These late replacements, man. These late replacements, they're going hungry depending on where you're at.
Telling you.
Look at Andy Ruiz.
Opportunity of a lifetime.
First fight, Andy Ruiz was at that point. Andy Ruiz was hungry, and not just. I'm not talking literally. I'm talking figuratively, because he was kind of broke. So he went all out against his first fight against Anthony Joshua, and we know what happened. We don't want to talk about what happened afterwards. But these late replacements, sometimes these late replacements, better be careful, man. They'll
No, definitely. And I want to get to this comment real quick. We got a couple going back to, and I think it's a great one. Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate you, brother. And definitely check out his. He did a recent acknowledgement of Shiver, who recently passed away. It was a sad situation. So shout out to you, Bruce. Appreciate that. I like open scoring. Boxing is the only sport where we have to wait to know who won after the contest is over. That's not good. Agree with that. HLD, Chocolatito is going to make Sopa.
Sopa de Gallo.
He was getting touched excessively versus a soft touch fighter on 2-week notice. Yeah, it was 2-week notice. So again, that's what I'm saying. It's all about the expectations of what you got to acknowledge and know, not just the surface level, but the true results and how they got to that point. The results are he did win. He did hurt and put his opponent down, but his opponent came in ready. And how difficult is it to come in? And like you said, fighters have said that many times that we've talked to. It's harder to fight somebody you're not prepared.
Exactly.
Plan, not know what they expect.
I just hope
a lot of guys won't do it. A lot of guys won't fight late replacements if they don't have enough time to formulate a good game plan, and you're training for an orthodox or southpaw. They throw in an orthodox. It changes all these things up. And boxers, they tell you about it all the time. I don't think it's making excuses or anything. It's just the way. It's just the way it is. A lot of these guys fear these late replacements because I don't know.
Well, for the casuals, you have to take that in consideration. Now I'm talking to you guys, casuals. Take that in consideration. Whether I understand you're probably thinking Gallo, you've been hyped up to he's pound for pound best, he's a world champion, he beat Chocolatito, whatever it is, and you have higher expectations. But understand the other side of it, right? It's short time to you study the opponent, right? You haven't been able to do pretty much a lot of it, and you are expecting, because you're the elite level, a lot of things to happen, and that just shouldn't be a point for you to take away everything that Gallo had to do in the fight to really finish it the way he did. And I think he was a clear winner in the fight, whether it was a last replacement or not. Hey, listen, this is what you got on the table. This is what you got to eat. And if you don't know how to eat it and digest it, then, that's fine. But you got to be able to overcome any kind of objections you get on someone that puts in the last minute like that.
Yeah, no, well said, brother. I mean, it's just, how it is. Sometimes people just aren't going to be satisfied. And that's the beauty and some of the challenges we have as far as boxing fans. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and get into
I want peace. I want problems always.
Problemas. Es un problema. ¿Dónde está? Tráemelo. Tráeme el
All right,
problema.
so something I just wanted to say real quick. And don't worry, I won't be long because I want my brothers to go ahead and chime in as well. And also those in the chat, again, appreciate you guys and those listening on the audio version.
Yes, sir.
Where we are today in boxing, it was exciting. Open scoring, I appreciated it. It was an entertaining card, but we have some disconnects as far as fights being made. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it is.
But I
can say
think
that.
at the same time, if you truly look, I'm believing looking at the source. The reason that
what are your sources?
The sources say the fights don't have to be made because we continue to consume the product. I'm saying us, the boxing fans, and I want your thoughts, everybody. Could it be the problem with boxing? I'm not talking about just the promoters, the networks, the talent, because there's all those things exist and have always existed. But the fact that no matter what, because we're so thirsty, we're so desperate to consume this sport that we're willing to take whatever, no matter how abusive this relationship gets, we keep coming back for more and paying for it. Are we the problem? Are we the reason why boxing continues to fuck us raw and not take us out to dinner? Are we the problem? Hopper, what's your thoughts? And then Manny, love to hear your thoughts.
Yes, bro, I agree because we are the problem because we still watch. And I'll put it to you like this. I'll put it to you in another sport. I have a team, right? Mighty Dallas Cowboys. They ain't done shit in forever. And they still, their prices, everything still keeps going up. Why? Because we tune in. Not just us, but the whole country damn tunes in. So Jerry Jones is probably thinking, why should I do that if I'm still making money? So I don't know. It's maybe a bad comparison, but people still watch. We still watch these fights. So I don't think it gives them an incentive to make these fights. And then, man, it's just we say this all the time. Boxing is its own worst enemy. Boxing is going to keep shooting itself in the foot. But look at us. We're still talking about it. And when these shit fights get made, we criticize them when they get made. But we're still going to end up watching. I'm going to watch tonight. Andy Ruiz versus King Kong. I'm going to order that motherfucker. So, and that's what we end up doing. We talk shit about it early on. And
then we end up paying.
And then when the fight night, hey, you guys watching the fight? Let's go.
Right. And that's a great point because a lot of ways we pay the most. We do complain the most, but we're the most loyal. In fact,
we're still watching. It's an abusive relationship.
We are.
Love and hate.
To go ahead and argue, boxing fans. I know it sounds crazy, especially when you go on boxing Twitter, which is the worst place in the universe. Boxing fans are the best fan base for someone selling the product because we don't give a shit. We'll watch whatever. We talk about YouTube fighters. People watch that. I don't, but people consume it because people consume the product no matter what.
Best matches.
Right. In fact, while we're complaining about it, we're doing what we're doing right now. We do live streams, we do podcasts, we help promote what we hate, which is helping them. So we're our own worst enemy. It's sad, it's sickening, and I hate myself for it. But you know what? I'm gonna get the Ortiz.
I don't hate you, Grego.
Well, thank you for that, brother. But Manny, what's your thoughts? So are we being overly critical? Is it just us, or do you see the formula? Do you see the madness that we've created for ourselves?
So here's the thing: taking away the politics away. All right, from a consumer standpoint. Okay, who's paying? All right, if you think about it, if you're a guy that is very detailed in your financials, right, like myself, and I go to my spreadsheet and I put down boxing pay-per-views and I filter that and I see the amount of money I pay a year, all right, and sometimes fights that I don't really care, but like you said, we tuned in. We are the customers. We're paid for that. Eventually, if you're not getting your money's worth, are you going to speak about it? You're absolutely right. We are not the problems. I'm going to tell you that. I think it's more about the politics in the boxing. And then you have a lot of different things, whether it is I got more champions, whether it is I beat such and such, whether it is I'm considered number 1, number 2, pound for pound, whether it is, and we as fans are tired of this because ultimately, we're going to be paying for those boxers to fight. Why not make the fights that, the fans are screaming? Nowadays, social media, it's a platform to you to take your expressions and put them out there publicly. And there's no doubt right now, that people really want to tune in and see Spence and Crawford, but the soap opera continues. It's like one of those Netflix series, right? They boom with the first season. They come out with a second season. You're so hyped. Third season is a piece of shit. And then you go back to the fourth season now, and you blew it in because it's like, damn, fuck. It's a fucking soap opera, and I've talked about it before, right? My only concern with that soap opera because people are going to keep consuming it, and they want to hype this up so much that sometimes when the fight is made, it's meaningless, and we've seen that over and over. And people are dying to see that. However, when you look at some of the fights that are happening last night, that people are enjoying the subscription to DAZN. By the way, we don't get anything from DAZN. We just love DAZN. However, now they're saying, man, look at this. Unexpected. I didn't expect this fight to be like this. And it put me off my feet. And I was like, if I had a Red Bull at that moment, I couldn't sleep afterwards. I told my brothers, I'm like, damn, my blood pressure, I think, is high up. I'm still pumped. I watched it again. It's worthy of a fight to rewatch it. Some of these fights don't. So the bottom line, Sean, we are not the problem. And I think that these promoters, they need to really, and this is the difference between UFC and us. The promoters and the boxers need to understand who's behind it and who actually pays bills, and that's the consumer. And you have to give the consumer what they want at least a few times in a year.
No, that's an interesting perspective. I mean, so you're saying that even though we are clearly a fan base that is like crazed for the content, we consume it no matter what. You say that since we can't control ourselves, it's the responsibility of the promoters and networks to put on better fights.
Right. Listen to the consumer. Not just because I want to fight. Oh, well, he said he wants to fight, huh? All right, good. I get it. Is it good for business? The promoters are going to look at that. But also, let's see what the paying customers do. Do you go to a grocery store and you go in and you're going to buy some stuff that nobody really buys? No, they're going to take away what it's not working for them, and they're going to bring the products that people are actually their most popular and people are really buying. So that merchandise is kind of go back and forth. I see it the same with saying boxing. Right now, however, we're getting some of the additional fights that are actually making us happy and making feel like, okay, at least I'm getting something for my money. But at times, no, then they make us pay $60, $80 for a pay-per-view like Tyson Fury and Dylan White, which for what? Oh, we just want to see because I'm a Tyson Fury fan. I mean, we all got sucked into that. We had to see it, but was it worth it? The money that we have to pay for that.
See, that's
you see what I mean? We get sucked in, but we still. And I'm not saying that fans need to pull back now and not support boxing. No, keep doing what your heart desires to do. Right? If you're a hardcore fan, you're still going to follow. You understand it's a love and hate relationship, right? That you can't pull away from it. It's como dicen en español, okay? Es mejor malo conocido que malo por conocer. Hope that makes sense.
Translate.
It's better to know someone, you have someone bad next to you than to try to seek for someone that's going to be worst. I don't know if that's the same, but
close enough.
Close enough, right?
No, that works for me. So yeah, what I'll say is, and that's an interesting perspective, that even though we're clearly a fan base that will take whatever and will take lemons and make lemonade and make podcasts out of it, you still feel, Manny, in respect to you, brother, that the promoters, the networks, they should overcome that urge to just give us whatever and create better quality fights. Because in the end, they would make more money because there'll be a higher demand because they'll create more casuals. So in a sense, they're actually watering down the sport so much to the point where it's becoming water. As far as like the quality opponents. And I think we're getting more competition that is entertaining, but is it truly better entertainment and better quality fights, or is it just the fact that we're so desperate for it, we just convinced ourselves that it's good? So, I mean, it's kind of a conundrum, to get too deep.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, but I think you shouldn't take a bone and just show it to your dog and just keep and never give it to him. And this is what they're doing with us and Errol Spence and Crawford and so many other fights that we never got a chance to see. And then when you get a chance to see them, we see them in exhibitions, or we see them when the fighters are down their peak because now they want to try to make some of my money. I don't have a problem with a teaser. I don't, because I get that the more they tease about it, I can guarantee you right now, if Crawford and Spence would sign in like right now, let's fight in December, it's going to make a lot of money. But I can guarantee you, that if these people, and they know it, but the casuals and the fans might not really think about this, but I can guarantee you if they keep extending it, it builds up more of the hype. You keep adding wood to the fire. You got a bigger flame and bigger flame. If you leave it for next year, you're going to have more people to tune in. I get it. That's part of business, right? But when making a decision right now, whether it's 50-50, and the boxers needs to understand, my fans want to see this. I want to be able to do everything possible that I can make it happen. This is why I give a lot of respect to Devin Haney. Okay? All right? I give a lot of respect to Devin Haney because Devin Haney went in against everything. I mean, in the contract, we got it. Rematch in Australia, we got it. Less money, we got it. He knew his fans wanted to see that fight. Of course, he wanted to become undisputed. This is a no-brainer. But he also said if he would have been someone else that didn't really care for any of the things around it, he would have made things difficult because Haney, although he wasn't the champion, he's got the bigger attraction than Kambosos. See what I'm saying? A rematch in Australia? Heck no. Come out here. But he took everything in it because he knew he had to support his fan that wants to see him fight and become a world champion. So tease me. Yeah, bring it. But let's make these fights happen because from a consumer standpoint, I'm paying for this. I want to see action. I don't want to see any other bullshit. Other than that, we're still losing people down the next door to the UFC because of that. You see what I'm saying?
Fights the UFC fights deliver. Like they make all the fights.
They make the fights happen, but they listen to who? Who do they listen? Dana White, man. Dana White listens to the fans. Listens to the fans.
All right, brother. Well said. So going quick with the news and notes.
Long Live Boxing says chocolatito all day. Okay, we're going to get the receipts on this.
And we're going to give them. Not a playing. Shout out to Women Crushing on Wednesday. Coach Christine. Knockouts with Nika. Nancy. Man, love Nancy. And also Esme. Love those ladies so much, man. You got
much?
What?
Nothing, bro.
I probably said something.
You thirsty?
Nah, not right now. So, you want to send a shout out to those boxing on Sunday, paying for it. Team Stream in the house. Let's go. Can't wait for that fight. Can't wait to talk about that fight with my brothers. And also, we got a big fight next weekend. Got the ladies coming up with a little bit of
Afternoon Delight. You guys have it, I think. Afternoon Delight.
And can't wait. It's going to be great. A little bit Afternoon Delight. It's going to be fantastic and it's going to be fun. And we're going to be here talking about it with you guys. And it is historical. It's going to be a very, very memorable night for boxing, not just for the fact
weekend, because we've got action, lots of action. We didn't talk about a little bit of Leon Smith and what happened over there, but we had some good actions all day yesterday, and then all of a sudden Sunday too. It's like, damn, Sunday I gotta get up.
Man, and we're off tomorrow.
Woo! Oh yeah, me. I mean, serious.
No, it's definitely a good time. So just want to make sure I threw that out there and send the shout out to the Women Crushing on Wednesday. You guys
Thank you guys. Thank you, girls. You guys are awesome.
Definitely. And we'll go ahead and have final thoughts with Manny and Hopper.
Final thoughts. Although I did rant and talk about a little bit about whether fighting Mexicans or non-Mexicans or not, but I'll put that to the side a little bit. More I know we're talking about whether paying customers, whether pay-per-view worthy or not tonight. It's not a pay-per-view worthy fight, but we all were gonna get it. Now people are intrigued to see how Ice Cream Cone. He went from Butterbean to Ice Cream Cone. Andy Ruiz. Then that's right. I'm sure you guys have seen the memes. Haven't been built up and nothing in the bottom. But Ice Cream Cone Ruiz is going to take King Khan. Luis Ortiz, King Khan. He wants to be that Cuban champion, the leader right now, where Cuba has a lot. That's where boxing for in the Caribbean brew. You know what I mean? I mean, they're worthy of having some kind of leadership besides Ugas, besides Robesi Ramirez, which has great future. But King Khan right now tonight has the opportunity, Labor Day weekend, to make a huge impact and possibly contend to one of those titles there at the heavyweight, or maybe major big fights against, who knows, because there's other players out there as well. But, I'm pretty excited about it. I really want to see. I'm going to see it, as a matter of fact. I'm not going to miss this one. Why? Because everyone wants to see how Andy Ruiz comes back. He looks in shape. I think he got things, squared out in his life. And then, doesn't have the money ahead of it. And then you got the family, nice guy who's just huge. but he's just a little kind of kitten inside, very well-spoken guy. He loves his family and he loves the sports boxing, and he wants to plant the Cuban flag tonight. So King Khan, you can get vulnerable at times. Be cautious because there's speed on Andy Ruiz's hands, and I hope it just doesn't happen. In previous fights that you kind of lacked a little bit on that defense, and you got really kind of touch hard. But at the same time, I believe in a King Kong power. So tonight, heavyweights on the line tonight to see what happens in the future for these two guys.
Yep, can't wait, brother. So final thoughts, final words, Hopper. What you got, brother?
I like what you said, Manny. But short and sweet, man. Shout out to Natasha Jonas. Yesterday, she also got a big win, unified her WBC, unified the WBC and the WBO. So shout out to her, 2012 Olympian. Natasha Jonas, she's getting up there in age, 38 years old, I believe. So shout out to her. She won a very wide unanimous decision over Patricia Burkholdt in Liverpool on the Liam Smith undercard. So shout out to you, Natasha. Shout out to all the Brits. We're over here watching as well. So we keep up with all the boxing. Liam Smith, he TKO'd Hassan Maquiano in the 4th round. So has some action over there overseas. So
were you okay with the stoppage? Were you okay with the stop? Did you see the fight?
I did.
Were you okay with the stoppage? Because I don't know.
A little too fast, but I mean that's the way the home.
So what do you think? Why Leon Smith was kind of pissed off? Was it because he stopped it earlier, or he didn't really want? He wanted to showcase more. What was your? I think that's
the Brits. Sometimes when they see a wrong, it's in their nature to, no matter if they're on the opposite end of it, they're going to say something about it. I think he kind of felt like we did, kind of maybe a little bit too premature. He's like, hey, come on, man, let us keep going. The fans pay to see it. Let's. I know, and he won, and he won.
Did. It's very rare that you see a boxer, right, that wins the fight. It's by stoppage, and then you get pissed off. You know what I mean? And so for me, I understand he wanted to prove a little bit more, but I just wanted to hear your thoughts about, what you felt on that, because I wanted to see more, but I'm glad that he took the victory. I mean, it's good.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, great stuff, bro. So I just want to say real quick a couple of things. First of all, thank you guys for joining us. I also wanted to correct something that I made a comment on. So Bruce Gass did a recent episode honoring Ernie Schaefer's away from the 70s. Who
check him out. Very good.
Amazing story. Check out Bruce Gass, man. That brother does his thing, man. All gas, no brakes. And I also want to say this again. I truly appreciate you guys so much. Not just my brothers. We all appreciate you guys taking time out of your day and make us a part of your day. And we do believe that we are part of this boxing community, helping start off your week. And, a lot of you guys are going to be off tomorrow, which is great. And a lot of you guys are off always, which is great too. Shout out to that. Nothing wrong with that. I'm referring to being retired, not, unemployed. But if you're unemployed, hey, I've been
kind of retired now, Gringo.
But what I do want to say is, and I take very seriously, the most precious thing you can give anybody is your time, not your money. So when you spend your time with me and my brothers, it means so much, and I can't thank you guys enough. Yeah. And nothing gets me more excited than the beautiful pageantry and the national support that people show for their countries and the love and the culture when they share it. There's nothing like it in the world. So don't get caught up in the negativity. Embrace the beauty, differences, and know a better way to start your day, because we don't look at our show as a close. We look at it as a beginning for your work week or your relaxed week. And no better way to get in.
What a great thought.
Vicente Fernandez getting ready to announce and sing the national anthem for Mexico for the man Julio Cesar Chavez, a Grand Campeón. You guys have a great week. We love you. See you next week.
Oh, yeah.
Recording artist from Mexico, Vicente Fernandez.
Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero aprestad y el gridón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Ciñe, oh patria, tus sienes de oliva, de la paz el arcángel divino,
que en el cielo tu eterno destino por el dedo de Dios escribió. Mas si osare un extraño enemigo profanar con su planta tu suelo, pienso, patria querida, que el cielo un soldado en cada hijo te dio, un soldado en cada hijo te dio. Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero a prestar y el gridón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias a Vicente.